Welcome to another episode, number 4 of What's Up, New Braunfels.
We're going to be discussing the housing expansions and the large amount of zoning approvals that have taken place over the last year or so. And we're also going to do an update on the IDEA group.
All right, today we're going to talk about a couple of properties, a few properties that are in the zoning process. We're also going to talk about other properties that have already gone through the process and been approved and that you may not know about. The first one is a zoning change, the Orion Road zoning change between Goodwin Lane and 1102.
And they're going to be doing what we call zero lot line building at that location.
And so that if people don't know what that is, can you explain a little bit about what kind of homes would go there? Just smaller homes, smaller lot homes, or what?
Basically smaller, a little bit smaller homes, but also much smaller lots. They're much smaller lots. They can get more houses on a piece of property because they're not providing as much yard space.
And this is the video here that we shot of the actual property. And then we also have a description of the location as an aerial view. This is also on Orion Road, right down the street from the one we just talked about. It looks like it's going to be tiny houses or RV houses. I'm not real sure.
It's hard to tell in finding much information on it. There's just not a lot out there. It looks like a tiny house community, but we can't guarantee that's not going to include mobile RVs or mobile homes. Right. And both these communities are on Orion Road that we just showed you, and that road is a mess out there. It's a county road and it's a mess.
Yeah, I live out here. I go down that road a bit and it's pretty much pothole filled, and the trucks are even messing it up even further right now.
The next one we're looking at is FM 1102. It's 48 acres. It has been zoned MUB, and basically they can put apartment complex or whatever out there. We're not exactly sure what they're going to build, but it's a large piece of property. This is the one there was some conflict because the signs for notifying the neighbors about the zoning change were not properly displayed.
And that has already passed through city council. As we were driving around kind of filming some of these, we found this construction site taking place off of Conrad's Road, right off of Goodwin, if you're heading toward I-35. We're not sure what it is, but it looks like housing.
Yeah, we're not sure. It looks like it's going to be in addition to the subdivisions that are already over there.
I think it's Cloud Country, I believe.
Right.
So from 35 on Kohlenberg Road, there is a plant going in called Continental Automotive Systems. I believe it's a plant. They're going to be building some kind of automotive pieces, I guess, out here as well, right? Going toward the drive-in, right?
Right. It's just a business out there. We thought we'd show people because a lot of people may not know that it's going in out there, and I didn't know it was going in out there. You did, but we thought we'd show some people, where it's located. Right. And this property is FM 758, and it's zone 0 lot line homes. Again, in other words, a lot of high density homes going in an area, just so people kind of get an idea what's going up out there.
And this is the 758. If you don't know where that's at, that's in front of the airport. And this is between Barbarossa headed toward 46.
And then these apartments are from the FM 306, right by the Bud Light company. There's a large apartment complex going in there, lots of apartments.
If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2 of the IDEA group, click here. But from our last video, we since have received a bit of information from the city as part of that open records request. Now, the city initially sent a letter to the Attorney General for a ruling, but again, we received some information and we're going to go through that.
Right. And basically we received some mainly emails, but no attachments to the emails. Some of the stuff we can't open, won't open. And stuff that we have open is just like a letterhead or a beginning of an email, but no body to it.
Part of the request ask for financial documents. You can see here that we asked for payments to certain vendors and consultants.
And what we discovered is the first ORR that we had in our last show, as of June 14th of this year, they said that they had paid Dr. Lewis Roundtop Consultant $3,000. But then when we were going through the documents from the, again, open records request, we found an email that was dated January 20th, 2021. And at that time, the Round Top had invoiced and the city had gotten invoices for over $3,600. Are they not paying the bill? That it's $3,600 back in January, and in June, they only paid $3,000. What's going on with that situation? And then, of course, part of the open records request, we were able to get copies of, apparently, he doesn't have one contract, he's got 2 contracts. And each one of those are a different amount. One is $5,250 and another one is $4,500.
So over $9,000 worth of consulting fees, just
right. And we've included also all the monthly invoices he has sent in. It started June 10th of 2020. And as you can see going through there, there's difference amount, and they have what goes to one contract is billed on a different line than the other contract. And you can see numbers written on these. Because of the amount of money this is, it was over $3,000. They had to open a PO for it. And as you can see, the invoices and the billing as of June 1st, 2021 was $9,350 that they have already been invoiced for. And a majority of these look like they've been paid because, like I said, there's PO numbers written on them.
I submitted a second open records request for a search on the Community Diversity Committee, because that, I believe, was their first name of this whole initiative. Is that correct?
Right. That's what they originally were calling themselves. In fact, there is a whole Excel presentation that was done at what they called their inaugural meeting. And in there, that's what I think it was the third frame. That's what they were calling themselves, the Community Diversity Committee.
Well, it's interesting. I got a response from that request saying that there was no group or there was no name of community diversity as part of the idea group.
Well, correct. And I tried to get on the committee way back when they first started. When I very first heard about it, I sent an email to the mayor and I used the word diversity committee. When we got the stuff from the IDEA, nothing has showed up with my email in that paperwork. And part of the records that we did get some of that we've had some issue with, we got one where the mayor is asking Christy and the attorney and a couple other people were CC'd on it. And it says, thanks, I will read shortly. Apparently there was an attachment. We didn't get that. He's wanting to know, what are we saying to folks asking who is funding the IDA forum? Well, he claims he started it and that it's under his command. Why here in June 4th, are we just now asking the question about who are we going to say funded this?
Yeah, that's interesting, especially since he started it. And why does he need advice on who's funding this if it's not something?
Well, obviously, since he knows they have 2 contracts with this consultant, so it's almost like, okay, what are you trying to hide? That right. You should know the answers to these. You started it, you know about the contracts. It's obvious the city's paying for this stuff.
Correct.
So there was that email within those files that we received.
And it kind of
The
goes
net-
back to the question as to are they doing this as part of the city thing? And did they, violate the Open Meetings Act, right? I mean, it kind of goes
Right.
back to that, right?
Well, and it gets even more so because then there's an email from Christie and saying we need to decide basically who's going to create it and own the Survey Monkey. Basically talking about Alice Jewell, who is the CEO of the McKenna Foundation, about their staff entering the written results, and there's just, and who owns the results, and just a whole bunch of questions in June toward the end of this that should have been already done and dealt with long before they finally decide who's doing all this stuff. It's more like who's doing it that we're going to present to the public that's doing it. That
Right.
least amount of hot water from the public for doing it. And the reason I say that is there was another email, and it was an email in response to some of this other stuff on who to decide. And it's from Alice Jewell, the CEO of McKenna, and it's to Jenna Vinson, who is the Director of Communications and Community Engagement. Alice is saying, thank you for sending. I have sent this to our data person for her thoughts on the survey. We can only electronically produce data and compile the written survey. No one even has to know it is us, if that helps. Or if you are trying to distance the data from the city, we can say we are doing it on your behalf. And I was personally told that McKenna was doing everything to do with the survey and they were paying for it, but it doesn't sound like it to me because this was in April, and it sounds like that was an afterthought to have McKenna say that they were paying for it and doing it.
So they're trying to distance the data, the survey itself. They're trying to figure out who they're going to say is funding this, yet Rusty is the creator of this. That doesn't make
right. And the
sense.
city's paying for the consultant and other miscellaneous things that they've paid for.
Right.
How this doesn't meet violating Open Meetings Act, I don't know what would.
Yeah, well, we'll let you decide that. I mean, we're just trying to bring you the information that we're finding here as part of this open records request. This is not, fake news or anything like that. This is the actual information that we got from the city. So,
right. And we're just putting information out there for people to make their own decisions. And we're waiting to hear back from the AG to see if they're going to make them give us more information.
And if you feel like you need to contact the city yourself to find out more about this information, we encourage you to do that as well.
Well, that's another episode of What's Up New Braunfels.
If you like this video, give us a like, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to leave us a comment below so that we can bring you more information. If you want us to talk about a certain topic, we will link any of these issues that we have talked about today in the description below. Go check us out on Facebook. You can look it up at WUNB or What's Up New Braunfels and go follow that page as well.
And don't forget to hit the bell on the YouTube so you get notification of any new episodes we release.
Until the next time.
What's Up New Braunfels?